Over the last few weeks, I've had a number of conversations with individuals from kind of different ages and different backgrounds and different experiences, but all individuals who are asking questions about how to move forward and how to keep doing the things they know are right to do, even though life is sometimes difficult and they have to make decisions and all that goes along with that. And a lot goes into that. But one of the answers that I give all of the time in regards to how to continue to move forward is to understand that you have to have a point somewhere in the distance that you're moving toward. There has to be a fixed point that you're walking toward, that you're moving toward in your life. And that fixed point needs to be something that doesn't move. We then will talk about what that is and what that looks like. And as I have these conversations, I talk about the source of truth. There has to be an unmovable truth in your life if you're going to have something to calibrate back to when you get off course a little bit, or when you get knocked down, or when things become a little bit confusing. There has to be a source of truth, that unmovable, universal truth that you calibrate back to, that kind of a stake in the ground, if you will, off in the distance that you're walking toward, that thing that guides you forward and keeps you on path. When it comes to truth, there are two kind of categories of truth, if you will. There is universal truth. That is the truth given to us by God, God who sets the standard. And the truth that He establishes is a truth that does not change. It will never change. It will always be the same. Then there is what would be considered maybe relative truth. It's truth relative to a situation or to a set of circumstances. It's not absolute. It's true because of the situation around you or the set of rules that you happen to be playing under at that time. When we talk about truth, we're not talking about relative truth. Relative truth changes, and so if your truth, the thing that you're following, changes with circumstance, then you'll be drifting all over the place over the course of your life. What we're talking about is the universal truth that comes from God. God has established a standard, and God gives us truth, and everything in our lives needs to be aligned to that. Now, what I'm not going to do is argue the truth of Scripture, the Bible, why we believe the Bible is true. I do believe the Bible is true, and perhaps in the future I'll talk more about that in this format, in this venue. But for everyone, there needs to be a source of truth. If you make yourself the source of truth, you're going to have problems, because a lot of that truth that you've made yourself is based on how you feel and what's happening around you. If you make someone else the source of truth, then when they change, or their circumstance or their situation changes, what you consider to be truth changes as well, and you're drifting all over the place. But if you take God's truth given to us in Scripture and you use that as the standard or the measure, the truth, then that which will not change will continue to guide you forward. Now, we change because we're human and we're emotional and we make bad decisions sometimes and good decisions at other times, and so we change. But the unchangeable truth, the universal truth, the thing given to us by God is Scripture. You see, God has not only given us life and created us in His image, He's given us the truth out there in the distance, the thing, the guide, the post that we can aim toward as we walk through life. This is a very simple concept, very simple principle. But if you are not walking toward truth, the universal kind given to us by God, you have no idea where you're going to end up. Don't follow the truth of other people. Don't follow the truth within yourself. Follow the truth given to us by God. Follow Scripture. Follow His Word, the Bible. Follow truth, and you'll end up in the right place. What is the truth in your life? What is the standard in your life? Choose the standard given to us by the one who never changes. And it doesn't matter what happens. If you keep following that standard and aligning to that standard and calibrating to that standard, you can be sure you'll end up in the right place.